Welcome back to Square Off. Next year's election for Arizona school superintendent could get more attention than usual for a down-ballot race. High-profile issues like spending on Arizona's empowerment scholarship accounts will be in the spotlight. Over the next several months leading up to the 2026 primaries, we plan to interview the active candidates for the position. Joining us today is Democratic candidate Teresa Leya Ruiz, a former president of Glendale Community College and a former public school teacher. Welcome to Square Off.
Thank you, Brahm. Thank you for having me.
As simply as you can, tell us why you think you are the best person for this job.
I have been an educator for 35 years, serving our students, teaching mathematics at all grade levels, middle school, high school, and at the college. And the last 10 years as an executive leader, president at Glendale Community College, and also as a nonprofit executive. I care deeply about the power of public education and the impact it can have and why we must protect it, so that someone like me, first-generation college student from very humble beginnings, can rise, have opportunities to rise to become the president of one of the largest community colleges in our state.
All right, let's talk about the issues. Empowerment scholarship accounts. 12 News has done a lot of reporting recently on a shopping spree by many parents that could be fraudulent. We don't know yet. The school superintendent now administers a $1 billion school voucher program. What, if anything, would you change that are within your powers as school superintendent or by working with the legislature and governor?
Well, in my experience as running a very large college organization, it always comes down to efficiencies and how can we make things better. You know, is there a technology solution? How can we move people around? If there's a need in one department, then we'll move people over. It's about being accountable and responsible with the dollars that we have to administer. It's about being transparent, and it's about making sure that our students are getting the access to the resources they need so that we can improve academic performance.
Well, speaking about vouchers in particular, what have you seen in the reporting that maybe raises questions in your mind and makes you say, hey, here's what I would do about that?
So specifically, let's talk about the $2,000 automatic approval. That is so outrageous that you would just automatically approve something, and there is a solution for this. We would have a technology solution. Current superintendent likes to use risk-based auditing as the reason why he can do this. We're talking about people's hard-earned tax dollars with zero accountability. So we would, following the law, I will always follow the law, but we're not just going to automatically blindly approve something and then say we're going to go back later and audit it and try to claw back those dollars if it's inappropriate. We need to do that on the front end. Our taxpayers' dollars are important. It's an important resource, and we must take care of it, and we must be transparent with it.
All right. Let's talk about performance, student performance. The National Report on Arizona Pupils' Achievement shows limited progress over the last 25 plus years. It just came out recently. It's widely watched. I'm sure you're familiar with it. The National Assessment of Educational Progress, NAEP? NAEP shows the percentage of fourth grade students in Arizona who performed at or above the proficient level for reading was 26% in 2024. In 2022, it was 31%. In 1998, it was 22%. Just a 4% gain over almost 30 years. I'm highlighting reading because, as I'm sure you know, that is a predictor of future success. What's gone wrong here? Because clearly we're not doing something right.
Well, you're right, and we should all be concerned about this. And I think this is a function of 40, 50 years of our Republican-led legislature who is underfunded, consistently underfunded education in Arizona. When we are 49th in the nation in per pupil funding, this is the result we're going to get. Two things I want to point out. The NAEP scores, so that our viewers know, that's a sampling. It doesn't go to all students, it's a sampling. Arizona has our own assessment as well, and we track third grade reading. I'll use that as an example, because every single public, including charter schools, must assess our students. Right now, we're at a 39% proficiency for third grade reading, and that's a drop of 2 percentage points from just last year. Again, more impact of of being underfunded. What's important to know is who's not being assessed in our state assessment, and those are private schools, home schools, or micro schools. So coming back to the ESA vouchers, I think this is something that we must all be concerned about, is private schools, private resources. You know, public dollars must hold public accountability, and there is no way to track how our students are doing academically, who's teaching them what they're learning. I think that's something we should all be concerned about. So yes, while we are concerned about NAEP scores and just reading proficiency levels in general, I think we need to keep in mind that this is a result of underfunding. And what I would do as a superintendent of public instruction, I would make sure to work with our schools around the state, rural schools, urban schools, and finding out what are their needs, how can we move resources to them, can we provide professional development for the teachers, what is it the schools need so that they can serve our students, all of our students across Arizona.
Okay, we have just a minute left. I was going to ask you a question about public schools closing, but you know what, I want a more personal question. Tell us about a teacher who changed your life.
Mrs. Summers. Miss Summers was my high school senior math teacher at West High, which is now Metro Tech, and I wanted to be just like her when I grew up. I wanted to become a math teacher just like her and have the impact that she has had, which I have done.
And you followed through on that.
Okay.
All right. Teresa Leya Ruiz, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Brahm.
And that's our show for this week. Thanks very much to all of our guests. Thank you so much for joining us. See you back here next weekend for another round of Sunday Square Off.